What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel for another 1/6 scale figure review. As you can see in front of me today, we're going to be taking a look at the Mars Toys 1966 Alfred. I do want to give a quick, really big shout out to Kit from 1/6Kit and Mars from Mars Toys for getting this figure out to me early for the purposes of review. I did, of course, pay for it, but I did get this shipped before the official batches shipped from 1/6Kit. I know this was a bit of a controversial one. The way that the drop went down initially, a lot of people were upset. They were worried they weren't able to get a copy. From what I understand, there was just early units ready before Chinese New Year, and the rest of them, you guys are going to be able to pre-order them, so don't worry. As of right now, you could still go on 1/6Kit and pre-order it like any other figure. It was just that initial scare of the figures going up. The link was taken down. A lot of people were upset. I totally get it. I can't pretend like I had a part of that because I got lucky and had this sent to me early. But again, I totally understand. This is a very, very sought after line right now from Mars Toys because he continues to build it out figure by figure. So a lot of people did not want to miss out on this one. So I definitely don't blame you guys on that. But anyways, I love how the box looks. Mars has been pretty consistent lately with the 66 boxes being around the same theme with that colored hue and the image of the actor on the front. I think it looks really good. But let's take the plastic clamshell out of the packaging and we'll see how it arrives to you when it lands on your doorstep. So as you can see, there are two separate plastic clamshells in the box. Of course, I did take the plastic off of everything just to make it easier to see in this portion of the video. And as you remove the plastic clamshells from the packaging, you will be greeted with this little baggie with the green apron in it. As you flip it over, you'll see there's some extra buttons and everything in there as well. But now, guys, let's take all of the accessories and the figure out of the art box, and let's take a closer look at all of the details. Surprisingly, you only get 6 extra hands with this set. Mars usually goes really crazy and gives us a bunch of different options. I get it though, Alfred is just a butler, so he doesn't need that many different types of hands, so I'll let it slide for this one. Of course, you have 2 hands pre-installed on the figure as well. In terms of the actual paint apps and sculpt work, they're really nicely done, as you can see as we get closer. I'm not sure why this hand in particular has so many wrinkles on the side there. You could see it in the sculpt. But one thing that's also very impressive is the paint on the rings. That's a very tiny space to paint in, and I think it looks very clean. There's no sloppiness to it. And overall, these are pretty nicely done. The set does include 6 of each of these little glasses here. This one looks like it has milk in it. If you look on the inside, there's like a white, milky looking resin in there. This one is really cool, this little cocktail glass. You can see if you look closely at the bottom there, they actually included these little plastic pieces to mimic ice cubes. I think that looks amazing and very clever. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And also, as we flip this one up, you can see there's some clear resin in there as well to mimic that drink, but very cool. And since we just looked at the drinks and these kind of go hand in hand, we have a little serving tray here. Though it does look metal, this is plastic. It's very basic. You can see there's actually like a knurled design on the edges, and you flip it to the underside. Again, very basic, but it looks pretty nice. And then you have this table here. This looks pretty dang good. As you flip it to the top side, you can see it has some nice simulated wood grain. There's a bit of like a mold defect in mine, but that's not a huge deal. The finish is really nice. It feels very quality. It's not heavy, but it's not light either. It feels really, really good. As per usual with the 66 line, you get the stand with that Batman logo, just a different colored backdrop here. I will say, yet again, Mars has delivered a stand without any bubbles in the sticker. I had that plagued issue with many Mars Toys figures, and it's not a huge deal. It's just a complaint of mine that I noticed time and time again. But so far, so good. On the past like 3 releases from Mars, I haven't noticed any bubbles. You can see I'm looking at it from many different angles. It looks pretty dang good. It is a very simple looking display base, but I think it looks pretty nice, and Mars has been pretty consistent with this line, keeping it with the same display bases, so I'm pretty happy about that. And I love that little metal nameplate on the front with very simple font that I think looks very clean. You guys saw the green apron earlier in the beginning of the video, but you do get an alternate clothes set for Alfred. So you have this like black blazer here with that like velvety finish on the inside. I think that looks pretty good. Of course, you get a pair of black slacks to go with that as well. And you also get a white button-down shirt pre-installed with a full-length tie and a set of suspenders to go along to complete that look. There is this neat little ice cream sundae accessory. Mine is loose in the little serving dish, like I could actually pull it out. I didn't see any loose glue or anything, so I don't know if everybody else's will be like that. It is a pretty basic looking accessory, but I think it'll be pretty cool to have on the serving tray nonetheless. And this is one of those accessories you could really put with any figure and kind of make it your own world. This is one of my favorite accessories, the little red phone. It is very shiny, so sorry if it's picking up a lot of the light on camera. The phone does remove from the hook, of course. You can see it's pretty nicely done. I do wonder how you replace the battery, because this does actually light up. You can see the battery in there. I imagine there's probably a way to pry it open. I don't see any screws or anything, but let me show you all the lighting features. I did turn the lighting down a little bit so we could see the light up effects a little bit better. I will say I could not find any included magnets in the box. I could be wrong, but I looked all through everything. So because of that, guys, I am going to use my caustic plastic Dracula magnetic foot to show you guys the light up feature. The magnets are on the underside of the phone. Once you put the magnet on there and pull it off, you can see you have a solid light. If we do it again, we have a fast strobing light. And then one more time, you do have a slower flashing light. And then if you want to turn it off, you just hold it on there once more and pull it off, and now your lights are off. But that's pretty cool. Like I said, I am curious how the battery will get replaced, if that's even possible, because of course, over time, the battery will die on you. And finally, for the accessories, last but certainly not least, we do have our Shakespeare bust. This is really nice looking. As we get close up, they've painted it to look like a real bronze statue. I will say the sculpt is really nice on this, and it actually has some decent weight to it. It's a pretty heavy accessory. There's a little surprise in here as well. As you open it up, that light actually does turn on. So we're going to show you that, of course, very shortly. But again, a really nicely done accessory, very substantial. Let me turn the lights down again and let's take a look at that light up function. Once again, using the almighty Dracula shoe, we will have light. So you put the magnet right under the bottom of the base of the statue, you remove it, and as you can see, you have light. And I think that's really cool. I love this new magnetic feature that a lot of these companies are using. It just makes for a more seamless look, and how easy is that to just move it, put it back on, move it, put it back on. Very simple, it works, and this is a really cool accessory. But I've made you guys wait long enough. Let's grab our 66 Alfred figure and see what we think of it. And here is our 1966 Alfred in all of his glory, wearing the default pre-installed outfit with the coat tails. I will do a quick 360 so you guys can see the proportions on the body. He was a very slender man, as you could see, and it looks really nicely done. I love the tailoring on this coat here. Of course, we're going to get closer up, guys. I'm not going to make you wait any longer on that head sculpt. This is an absolutely fantastic head sculpt, as you could see. Mars did a great job on this one. Some of the head sculpts, it's like some people are hit or miss on it. I feel like for this one, though, even without the glasses on, though, and of course I will show it to you very shortly with the glasses, I think this head sculpt is fantastic. I'll get a little bit closer up so we could see more of those details in the paint apps as well. Like I said, guys, it is beautiful. He's done a fantastic job. The paint apps are excellent. The skin tone is very good. The only thing I will say is the eyes, as you can see, towards the middle, it looks a bit on the faker side that I'm used to from Mars Toys, but not a huge complaint. Once you put the glasses on to kind of complete that look, it'll look very nice. But like I said, what a beautiful, beautiful head sculpt. From every angle, I see the likeness there. As we turn it around to the back of the head, the hair is really nicely sculpted and very nicely painted as well. Just a really nice home run, yet again, from Mars Toys when it comes to head sculpts. It looks really good. And of course, let me throw the glasses on real quick and we'll kind of complete that look. I've got the glasses on them here in like an extreme close-up. You can see there's a small little paint defect at the bottom of my glasses, but not a huge deal. I could probably wipe that off the lens, but nevertheless, this looks awesome with the glasses. It really brings out that look. I will say, be careful. The glasses do kind of tuck behind the ears. It is a tight fit. In order to get it sitting close to his face, you do have to kind of push on it. Just take it slow. Don't force it because they are plastic. You will break them. But man, that really, really brings out the likeness. Sorry for the super zoom here, but I was really just wanting to show you guys how good and realistic it really looks once you have that complete look. I know I'm drooling over this head sculpt, but like I said, I just think it looks really good and I'm very pleased with it. Of course, as always from Mars, we have some pretty solid tailoring, some of the best third-party tailoring in my opinion. You do have multiple layers here. You see that under vest. Of course, it does have those annoying little buttons that every company uses. I cannot stand those. I know at one point Mars used magnets for that 66 Joker and a lot of people weren't happy with it, so I get it. The pants are really nicely tailored, of course. You have two pre-installed open relaxed hands here on the figure, as always. I like how the pants drape over the shoes there. Of course, it has to be adjusted a little bit, but it looks pretty nice. You do have some 1/6 scale socks under there, which you always like to see. When it comes to posability, we're not going to go too crazy. It is very loose, as you can see, because of the clothing. There's no limitation at all. I will say my personal copy, some of the limbs are a little bit loose, like this arm here. It doesn't fully hold that 90, and then this leg here just kind of droops back down. You can see the other one does not do that, so a bit of a defect with mine. That won't happen with every single copy. It's not a huge deal to me because he could still stand just fine, but I wanted to point that out to you guys because it did happen with my copy. Also, I did not show you guys a full look at the back here. There is no wiring in the coattails on this particular coat, but again, it does lay very nicely, and I think the shoulders are nicely rounded and everything. It looks really good. But with that in mind, let's throw Alfred in a couple different looks. We'll throw him in some poses and we'll close out this video and I'll share my final thoughts. I won't lie to you, as I was doing this pose here, I kind of found myself wishing there was an alternate head sculpt like we usually see from Mars. Maybe with like a slightly open mouth, like Alfred was getting ready to talk, or he's in the middle of talking, or maybe a smile or something. Obviously, this sculpt is still very good. I think it looks fantastic, but maybe a little bit less of a blank stare would have been good for a pose like this. Also, I noticed the phone itself, when you try to stretch the cable to have the phone all the way up to his ear, it kept wanting to lift the phone up off the table. So you probably have to sit there and stretch out the cable a little bit just to kind of work it over time to make it a little bit easier. Once again though, like, man, that head sculpt, what a beauty. What an excellent head sculpt. What a great likeness. I'm sorry that the coat's kind of bunching up around the neck. That's really the pose I got him in, with the arm kind of pulled up a little bit. It kind of pulled the coat. But of course, guys, in your displays, you can adjust it, steam it, do whatever you have to do, and it'll look a lot better. This is just kind of a straight out of the box experience behind the camera, just posing it up really quick for you guys. This particular pose here for any Alfred figure is always great. So simple, but it's that like classic butler pose, that elegant standing position. You could see I took the overcoat off and he looks like a butler. This is like that typical stereotypical butler look, and he looks great. I love this pose. Again, it's so simple, but it really speaks so much of this character, and I think it looks awesome. And just a quick closer up shot on this one as well, so you can get an idea of what that vest looks like underneath. The white is so bright on the shirt. Sorry guys, it kind of comes off bright on camera, but trust me, this is a great look. And right here, this serving tray and apron combo is another great look. I will say guys, when you put on the alternate outfit with the tie is very stiff out of the box. You really kind of have to push it down with your thumbs and get it to lay flat on the body. It's going to take some working. Mine still sticks up a little bit. It's just kind of being held down here with the apron. But man, what a great look. It looks fantastic. I love the contrast with the green on the apron. My Alfred, he's not serving any ice cream or milk tonight. This is a dinner party. So we got the cocktails out and he's got them on deck. But yeah, just kind of going along with what I said earlier, I would have liked to see an alternate sculpt with this one. I think it really would have brought out the opportunities for different poses. I still think the neutral sculpt was a great decision, but Mars is known for doing alternate sculpts. So if I think there's any misses with this set, apart from the minor issues I had with my body, I would say that I would like to have seen an alternate head sculpt. But guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I think this figure is a total home run for the 66 line. Mars is just killing it. The most recent Frank Gorshin Riddler 2-pack was such a joy to unbox and such a fun time to pose up. And this figure is no exception. I'm sure I will pose them many different ways in my display before I decide on one. I really want to test him out with that blazer with this look as well. But in the interest of time with this video, we're going to wrap it up here. Another fantastic release from Mars. Again, as I mentioned earlier, do not panic. This is still available for pre-order right now through OneSixthKit. I will put a link in the description to pre-order your very own 66 Alfred. And if you are collecting this line and you're on the fence about this one, I say go for it, because it's going to look so awesome with the rest of the figures, and it totally has that wow factor when you put it on your shelf, because that head sculpt is just so good. But that's going to wrap up this video. If you haven't already, please consider dropping a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that join button down below if you would like to become a channel member. See ya.